It's Friday, and my technology, I think, is all working. So, yeah, it's Friday. I'm really excited to be here with you tonight. Hello, friends. Hello, hello, hello. I see several of my channel members in the chat, so I just want to say hello to Gian Math Geek, aka Shelby. I see Bill Imhoff is there, Pat Strawhouse. We've got a few other folks in the chat too. Patty G, I see you as well in Quilt Fact. And I thought I did a little wave emoji to all of my channel members, and I'm looking for it, and I don't. Oh, there it is. Pat Strawhouse, Ruth Roberts, Math Geek, Louise M. Croak, Bill M. Hoff. I think I said everybody. If I said your name 5 times, you're welcome. It's the weekend, guys. I am so excited to get started because this girl has been super busy with work, which means when I've come home in the evenings, there really hasn't been much time for anything YouTube or sewing related. Today, I did have the luxury of working from home, but it was a busy day from start to finish. So I'm just now unwinding. And in fact, about an hour ago, I was chatting with some friends. I was like, wait a second, how is it already 7 o'clock? When did that happen? So I had to run out of here, wolf down some dinner, and come back in here. And I got to tell you, I did not know, and I still don't know, what the heck I'm going to do on tonight's live stream. But I have a theme. We're going to pull a Tiffany. Y'all know my friend Tiffany. Tiffany is such a creative soul. She's able to just whip things up without too much of a plan or really even a pattern. And so I'm going to channel my inner Tiffany. We're going to do that. And what I'm going to use are 2 fat quarter bundles that I got off of a Destash site. These are the Walkabout. This is the Walkabout line from Sherry and Chelsea. And if you know anything about me, you know they're one of my favorite fabric designers. So this is an older line that has been out of print. And I think these probably came in a Sew Sampler box a while back. I have long since used mine. So she was selling both fat quarter, like all of this together, 16-piece fat quarter bundle for an out of print line for one of my favorite fabric designers for 40 bucks. So I swiped it up, and I didn't really intend to do anything with it when I bought it. But I was sitting here tonight, I was like, I wonder what I can do with some fat quarters and some background fabric. So I grabbed both of these fat quarter bundles, and I grabbed some coordinating background fabric, about 3 yards. This is Grunge Winter Village, for anybody that's curious, and it blends beautifully with this fabric. I'm going to see what I can do. I don't know what that's going to be yet. So if you have a couple of ideas of what I could potentially make, toss it in the chat because I would love to consider those, and we'll talk about those in just a moment. But while I'm waiting for you to give me some feedback, let me give you some feedback. And by feedback, I just mean announcements. So if you are a member of my VIP exclusive access membership over on my website, sewbecca.com, this weekend is our virtual retreat, and I am inviting anybody who is a channel supporter, meaning you are paying either the $1.99 or $4.99 a month over here on YouTube to help tip, fund, support my channel. That Zoom link is already on the community tab for you if your name is in green on the live chat. The Zoom will be open starting at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on Saturday, and it'll go all the way through Sunday evening around 6 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, it will be open overnight on Saturday. So you're free to pop in whenever you have time. You only have a couple minutes. You want to stop in and say hi, that's fine. No big deal. Come and go as you please. What we will be working on this weekend on our virtual retreat is really just UFOs and works in progress. Bring your own project, BYOP. However, several of you have asked about the braid quilt, which you can see hanging behind me. And the video for this is hopefully, knock on wood, dropping this weekend. I've finally finished editing the video. It is in review, and I'm just waiting for feedback to make sure that I didn't miss anything important. And once I have that, then I'll schedule the video. I am hoping that it will drop sometime on Saturday, maybe Sunday. But if you are joining that Zoom and you want a demo or a tip on how to make this, I'm going to do a demonstration for how to build out a braid. Same information I put in the video, but you'll get it face-to-face with me over Zoom, and I'm going to do it twice. And it's going to be at noon on Saturday, noon Eastern time, and then again at noon Eastern time on Sunday. Now, spoiler alert, if you happen to join a little bit late and you want me to repeat that, I have no problem repeating it later in the day. Just let me know when you're going to be on there, and we'll find a room off to ourselves, and I'll go and demonstrate it for you. And then you'll always have the tutorial video on my YouTube channel to refer back to, because it's going to be the same thing that I'm going to teach you in person. So, all right, those are the tips, the announcements that I have for my channel, but I do have a couple of other things for you. First off, Donna, you guys all know Handmade by Ying. She normally goes live Friday nights at 9:30. I do want to let you know that she is going live tonight, but she doesn't have a live scheduled. So just like I've done every other Friday night, when my live ends, you don't have to go anywhere. It will automatically dump you over to Donna's live that is already in progress. So just heads up. If you don't see her thumbnail and you can't find her right now, it's because I think Joe's sick and she's going to do this flying solo, so she would appreciate your support. Secondly, Sean, this is super last minute. Sean from The Guy Who Sews, you guys know he does a Brekkie with Sean every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. where he sews live on his channel and he invites another guest to come and chat with him and sew with him. So tomorrow he has asked me, he just asked me like 2 days ago, so this isn't something we've had in the works forever. He asked me if I would, if I had some free time Saturday morning to join him for Brekkie, and I thought, sure, why not? Jason's probably going to be working out. I really need a kick in my butt to finish the panda quilt, so I figured I'd join him tomorrow. So if you are up and you've got a cup of coffee and you're looking for somebody to hang out with, make sure to catch me over on The Guy Who Sews at 8 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday, March 23rd. But of course, there's always the replay if you can't make the 8 a.m. show. All right, we're going to take a look at the chat and see who else is in here. The Crafty Panda has joined the super fan. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Christine Kidd is here. Hello. We've got Donna in the house. She said, yep, flying solo. You'll do great. You'll do great. We've also got, oh, how about a drunkards? Oh, yes, that's right. I asked you guys, what should I be doing with this? And y'all are not disappointing. Okay. We'll see what we got. Let's see what we've got. But we do have a side question. The Siberian Wind says, side question. If I can ask, what's the most yardage you'll put on a comic board or a magazine board? I'm about to swap things over. I do have a couple of magazine boards that have about 5 yards or more, and it's a little clunky. I think 3 to 4 yards is probably the max, but you can certainly put more than that if you'd like. It just gets a little wobbly because it's not lined up the way I would like. Mary Rose Spriggs says, I love other folks' Destash. I make charity quilts from them. So that's actually part of what I'm going to do. I don't know where the quilt's going to go. I don't know the quilt story. I don't know its forever home. But can y'all hear me okay, by the way? Because I just want to make sure I'm not talking terribly loud. I'm not projecting my voice as much as I normally do. And I just want to make sure I'm coming through nice and clear for you. I've been talking all week and my voice is kind of just like, hey, we don't need to project our voice as much. So I'm talking a little bit softer and I just want to make sure I'm coming through okay. So my goal with this quilt is to sew something for you and have something to work on. I want it to be an easy sew, so probably won't do that drunkard's path that I saw pop up in the chat, but I want to use it as a practice for the long arm. So this is probably going to err on the side of bigger blocks that are not as complex, because the whole idea is just to let this fabric shine and get it loaded on the long arm so I can do some stitching on it. So let me know what you think. I'm scrolling through to see what comments and suggestions have come in. Debbie Fleming says, I just watched Tiffany's double Carpenter Star quilt she made. It was huge. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Constance is saying, yes, a log cabin would be good. That could be, but it also might be more time consuming than I'm willing to put into this if I'm really honest. So Quilty with Melissa says, how can we become a supporter? Down below the video there should be a join button. That join button will allow you to join either the $1.99 or the $4.99 level channel membership. This is kind of just like a recurring tip program, but in exchange for that tip, you get access to some special custom emojis. Your name will show up in green with a little badge next to it in live chats. I try to prioritize at least saying hi to my channel members when they're here. This is a new thing that I'm really trying to be more diligent about. And then when I have Zooms for my VIP membership, you usually get an invite to that too. Let's see. Lots of people saying hi. Lots of people saying lovely fabric. Looking forward to the retreat, Mrs. P says. Awesome. Catherine is here as well. Hello, Catherine. Tiffany's Quilting Life. I just can't believe you are sewing while watching. Tiffany's always doing all the things while watching. Hello. I just turned up my volume. I just turned up my volume a notch. You're quieter than normal, but I can hear you. You do sound good. Okay. Joe Robinson says, hello, Becca, from your Central VA fan. Hello from your Northern Virginia friend. Ellen says, it sounds good. Stitch in Time says, sound is perfect. Okay, good. Well, if it gets a little too quiet, just let me know, and I will try to project my voice up a little bit. Katie Vaught is here. Hello, Katie. Lots of you are saying log cabin. I don't know if I'm up for that log cabin, but I did see a disappearing Irish chain. Nice variety of colors. Tyler says an Irish chain would be nice. An economy block, that could work. Huge disappearing 9 patch. I think I like that idea. Kathy is saying I'm really quiet and she has her volume turned all the way up. Okay, let me just try to, I don't think I can project my voice very loud, but I do think I have some technology options that might help me come through a little bit louder. And you should have just heard my voice start to raise a little bit. I'm going to turn this up just a wee bit more, and then you guys can tell me if this is working. Just got to get my keyboard to connect. All right, I just adjusted this. The gain is set higher, so I should be coming through a little bit better. I plugged in my speaker so I can hear you way better. Well, hopefully this is working, and hopefully the mic is not too hot. So just let me know. If it's a little too hot, we'll bring it down a notch. Something with triangles or diamonds would be good. Girl, that's not tonight. FPP and a Ray or Shine. I like the disappearing 9 patch. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a disappearing 9 patch. So 9 patches are really simple because we're just going to take 9 pieces of fabric, sew them together, and I can make them as large as I want to or as small as I want to. Disappearing 9 patches can be a little tedious. They can be a little time consuming, but the nice thing about this is if I make the 9 patch relatively big, then it should work. So let's do that. I've got to figure out the fabrics that I want to use, but I had already thought about something with a 4 patch or a 9 patch, so this is really good timing. I've got 7 fat quarters here, and we're going to go to just sew and cut 17-inch squares, Tiffany said. You're welcome, April. April said, so much better, thank you. Definitely not hot enough to turn down. Okay, good. All right, so this is the fabric that I'm going to use as the background, and then these are the fat quarters. And I've got 2 of each one because I bought both of the fat quarter bundles. Oh, yeah, that's too much for tonight. Yes, it is. No, for this weekend, we're going to do that. If anybody wants a demo of this, I will show this. Otherwise, we're going to work on UFOs and works in progress. I will probably not finish this tonight, but I do want to get it started, and I would like this to be a quilt that I can sew and have ready to load on the long arm by the end of the weekend, if not quilted as well. So here we go. These are the fat quarters that I am working with. And I just want you to see the yumminess that's here. I have 2 of each one. Now there are 8 altogether in this bundle. I'll turn it this way so you can see. But this one doesn't really contrast with the background fabric that I pulled. So I'm going to take this one out. Now, I don't know how big this is going to be because I'm not doing any math. I've not done any pre-math. I will have to do it as I go. I've not even starched this fabric. We're just going to wing it. We're going to dry press it and cut and go because ain't nobody got time to starch tonight. So I think for right now, I'm just going to focus on these 7. But if I need it, I have this full extra fat quarter bundle that I can cut into later. So I'm going to focus on using these 7. And right away off the top of my head, I'm trying to think, what can I get the most of out of these fat quarters? Well, I could cut 17-inch squares, but that 9 patch would be ridiculous. I could also cut 5 inches, a bunch of 5 inches, but that would leave a little excess. So I know a fat quarter is 18 inches by 21 inches. So I feel like maybe some 6-inch blocks would work because I should be able to get 3 by 2 and have a 3-inch strip left over that I could use for some extra. So I'm going to focus on cutting from each one of these fat quarters. I'm going to try to cut 6 by 18 by 21. Yeah, I'm going to try to get 6. I think that's right. I think I'm going to try to get 6 6-inch squares out of each of these fat quarter bundles. So to do that, I do want to give it a dry press just so that I've got the wrinkles knocked out a little bit. LCSD says, just joined, love the quilt behind you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys know what I did. You're going to love this. I'm going to go to a different view so that you can see me more while you see what I'm working on. So I have leaned into a new iron. It's not here yet. It'll be here tomorrow. Thanks to all of the support that you guys have given me on YouTube. I had a really good month for the past couple months on YouTube. I'm really appreciative of that. Thank you so much for watching my content. And so as a result, I was able to afford a new iron. So I have a new iron coming my way, a la Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow, and it's something that you guys all did for me. It is the same exact cordless iron as the one that I will be using tonight. It is the Panasonic WL607. This is the cordless iron with the ceramic sole plate, and I swear by this iron. Why did I get another one? Well, because I wanted another one of that cordless iron, but this one is in the teals that I just absolutely love, and I've been drooling over for years. So I finally pulled the plug. Get it? Pulled the plug iron. I pulled the plug and I got that iron. It'll be here tomorrow. And every time I pick that little iron up, whether it's in a video, a live stream, or just a personal sew, I'm going to think about you. So thank you for that. This iron is still imperfect. It's still working great. So I'm just going to repurpose this over to my ironing surface, which is where I have a mini Aliso right now. This will give me a bigger sole plate so I can get through my pressing a little bit better, a little bit quicker too. All right, irons heated up so we can stop talking about the irons. So Quilty with Melissa has joined the channel support group. I hate saying channel memberships because it makes it sound like this is a club, and it's not really a club, but I don't know. All the words are nuances. Thank you for supporting my channel, Melissa. I appreciate it. That's what we'll say. Thank you. You know what also we're going to do? This bad boy needs to go because it's too small and I'm never going to get through all this pressing if I have a little 9-inch by 9-inch board. I'm pulling out my wool pressing mat that is a bit bigger than a fat quarter, which will allow me to spread out the fat quarter. Well, it's a little bit smaller than the fat quarter, but it'll allow me to spread this out and do some dry ironing. Helen says, what's the pattern of the beautiful quilt behind you, Becca? This is the video that I will be dropping this weekend. I'm going to call it the Brady Bunch because I think it's fun. Get it? Braid, B-R-A-I-D-Y. We're going to call it the Brady Bunch. It will not be a full written pattern. My intention was to write a full pattern for this, but work has picked up a bit for me and I just haven't had downtime to write it. So instead, what you're going to get is a hybrid approach. I'm going to give you a project sheet, which will have all of your fabric requirements for that quilt, as well as the braid quilt that my mom put together and we started on a live stream. It'll also have your cutting instructions, and then you'll just have to use the video to follow the step-by-steps because I didn't have time to write that and do the illustrations and all that other stuff. Hello, Joyce. Hi, Sheila. Welcome to the live stream. You could use the light fat quarter for center blocks surrounded by colors instead of leaving it out. Maybe, yeah, that might not be a bad idea. We might have to think about that. I'm just going to turn the font size up a little bit on this so that I can see the text a bit more. Oh, that was a whole lot. I also need to, zoom out. There we go. That'll work. You're welcome, Helen. You're welcome. One of these days, I will have more free time to write patterns and design them and things. But, you know, when you're juggling a full-time job and a family life and all that other stuff, you don't always have the time to do all of the things that you want to do. You got to say no to some things. Hello, Gwenny from Alberta, Canada. I'm just quickly ironing these with a hot dry iron. I'm not adding any starch. I'm not doing anything like that. I probably could if I wanted to, but I just want to get to the part where I'm sewing. So all I'm trying to do is get the creases out of this beautiful fabric that you're getting a nice close-up view of. Look at this. This one's pretty stubborn, so that's going to be fun. I might have to spritz it just a teeny bit. We'll see. Nope, not at all. It ironed out pretty decently. Joy says, I'm retired and have all the time in the world, but still don't get a whole lot done. Samantha Savage says, I convinced my hubs to play VR while I sew and watch you. Samantha, well done. Becca, is it the same one as you did on Sew? Yeah, basically it's the same thing. Yes. Except instead of putting it into a table runner, we're going to make several of them and put them into a quilt. Vanessa, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Becca, I'm rather new to your channel, Michelle Starr says. What's your full-time job? I am a project manager. Joanne Showalter says, I would start with 8 different fat quarters and use the background for the center block. That would give 9 different squares in each block. Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that. You know what? We are going to do that. We're going to take your suggestion. I only have 7 picked here, but I can go into that second fat quarter bundle and pull out perhaps that really pretty aqua because that is my favorite color. And that'll add a little bit more blue since there's so much peach and corally color to this. If I bring that second blue in, that'll be nice. Tessa Thomas says, hello, So Becca. It's been a long time since I caught your live. Good night, everyone. Hello, Tessa. Casey Semick, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I greatly appreciate you. Helen says, I need to return to full-time work to have time. Oh. Margarita Collins says, hello, Becca from Texas. I'm new to your YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Jeanne says, I know you said I know you said it, but what time are you going to work on the braided quilt? Did you say, okay, I will probably end up doing one. I will demonstrate how to make the braid at noon Eastern time on the Zoom this weekend on both Saturday and Sunday. However, because you can come and go as you like, if you missed the demonstration and you would like me to show you, I am more than happy to pull you aside into one of the rooms. We will have virtual rooms open so that everybody can come and go and hang out with their friends, and we don't have all 100 people hanging out in the main lobby, which can get a little overwhelming. And if you're me, overstimulating with everybody trying to talk and trying to find time to interject. That's a me thing. So to keep my own sanity, we will be starting on all of our Zooms. If you have been a member of my Zooms before, this is something I talked about, but there were folks that didn't really, there were just a couple of folks that didn't necessarily love that idea, but I've got to do what works for me. And I get very overstimulated when there's more than just a few people in a Zoom session. There's lots of people that are all trying to talk at the same time, or you get some people that are very talkative, myself included, and then some folks are not as talkative, and it can be a bit stressful for me, especially because I'm always worried that somebody wanted to say something and never had a chance to. So my way to alleviate that going forward, I've done this before, we're going to do it every Zoom from now on. We're going to open breakout rooms. And when you come in, we'll put you in a room, but you will be allowed to hop around on your own. So if you've not figured out how to navigate breakout rooms before, take a quick peek at a YouTube video, do a Google search for that. You'll have control to come in and out of any of the breakout rooms that are there, so you can pop around, see who's in each room. And that'll kind of be almost like your sewing table, right? If you're in one, each breakout room is kind of like a cluster of tables where you can sit and chat and get to know people. And you don't have to stay in the same one all weekend. You can go wherever you'd like. And I will roam around and hang out with everyone. My favorite color too, Samantha says. Awesome. Where can I find the pattern? The pattern for this hanging behind me, that is not going to be a pattern. It will be a project sheet. It will accompany a video that will drop this weekend, most likely. And the project that I'm working on tonight, there is no pattern because I'm making it up as I go. Right now, what I'm doing is grabbing 8 fat quarters and I am pressing them. And then from each of those 8 fat quarters, I'm going to cut 6 6-inch squares. because I want to get the most use out of each fat quarter as I can. Pat Jennings says, I am a longtime quilter, but new as a supporter to your channel. Thank you so much, Pat Jennings. I appreciate that. Mennonite Farmhouse is here, you guys. She has some awesome recipes over on her channel. You'll have to check her out. And I know specifically that one of the things I want to give her a shout out for is she had a passion for a quilt of valor. I know that's part of the drive for one of the things that she wanted to do for her channel was a quilt of valor. So if you guys haven't checked her out, make sure to hop over to her channel, check her out. If you like what you see, subscribe to it. Let her know you liked it. And like I said, she does have some quilting content over there, but a lot of recipes. So if you're into baking or cooking, definitely go check that out. I have not done any Zoom. Do I need a number to log in with? Nope, Jan, all you have to do is just click on the link that's in the post on the community tab, and that should take you right there. That post is visible for anybody whose name is in green on the live stream tonight. But all the information for the Zoom is there, so if it does ask you for a passcode, that code is there as well. So you should have everything that you need right in that post. You don't have to register for any accounts. You don't have to do any of that. Ruth Roberts says, I've always been a bit OCD about my house cleaning. Guess what? I think quilting is curing my OCD. So fun. All right, so these are my 8 fat quarters. We're going to cut our 6-inch squares out of these. So to make this really, really simple, I'm going to stack everything up. I'm going to put it so that the selvages on all of these are up at the top. And you know what? If I'm a little shy and can't get 6, fine. If I get 4, that'll be great. If I get 5, that'll be great, because I'm not trying to make this more difficult than it needs to be. Louise says, what's house cleaning? I don't know, but when you figure that out, let me know. Oh, this fabric is just gorgeous. I feel like I want to trade this one out for this other green. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to trade that out for the other green. That'll make it springier. So we're going to keep that. And I'm going to pull this in. Oh, that green's great. So let me pull this over here. Let me iron that other green, and then we'll get to cutting. And I'll save this tan one for another project. No, Shelly, sorry. The website membership does not synchronize to YouTube. I apologize. That's out of my control. YouTube and Squarespace, which is the company that hosts my website, do not talk to one another, so I have no way of synchronizing the data. Technical difficulties. Joined late. What fabric are you using? This is the Walkabout line. It is a few years old. It is from Sherry and Chelsea. This appears to be a fat quarter bundle that might have been in Sew Sampler boxes a few years back. I was on a Destash site over the past week, and this lady was selling both of these 8-piece fat quarter bundles, both of them for $40. And this was a line that I absolutely love. They're designers. It's a designer that I really like, so I jumped on it. 16 fat quarters for $40. Yeah, I did that. How is Ian doing? He is doing great. Shouldn't it give you 9, or am I figuring wrong? Maybe, you know what? I think it should give me 9. We'll find out in just a moment when I get to cutting, because I think my quilt math, my YouTube stuff, I think I'm miscounting something somewhere. Ian is doing well, in case you guys missed it. Last week, he did find out that he won first place for the Sewing Machines Plus Viewer's Choice Award, and he has been on cloud 9 ever since. All right, I need a ruler. I said 6-inch squares, so we're going to try to cut as many 6-inch squares as we can get. No worries, Shelly. No worries. That's a slightly over 6-inch wedge. I'm going to come back in and clean up the other side so I have a nice straight line on here. And this will be trash. Fat quarter will give you 9. Thank you, Siberian Wind. I appreciate you. Now, this side has a salvage, and I don't want the salvage in here, so I'm going to come over, flip up the side that has a salvage, and just push my ruler over just a little bit. So there's that. Your channel is very relaxing to me. Thank you. Didn't I win something too? No, because I did not enter. Wait a minute, hold on. 6-inch, right, 6. No, 6-inch. Yeah, yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. So this would need to be 12 inches to get 2 that way. So what we're going to do is 6 inches this way. Well, hold on. You know what? We're just going to go with 5 inches because look how much this uses up. So we're going to use 5 inches. I'm making a change on the fly. Instead of cutting 6 inches, I'm going to cut 5 inches. So that's a 5-inch there. This will be a 5-inch here. Basically, I'm going to make my own little charm pack. And this, unfortunately, will be my scrap. So that's 5 inches. Oh, shoot. No, I cut that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut it at 4 inches. Okay, we can salvage this because I don't know how many of these I need to make. So we're going to try it again. We're just going to cut 6 inches. We're going right back to the plan. This is what I get for trying to talk and do quilt math and figure out what I'm going to do all at once. Becca, what rotary cutter is that you're using? I need one. This is the Martelli rotary cutter. I absolutely love it. Okay, this is 6 inches here. Okay, there we go. And then from these, I'm going to try to cut out some 6 inches. They're folded a little bit, but no big deal. Tiffany's going to love the scraps. Hello, Mike. Mike Seppa is in the house. He says, hello, so Becca. Hello, hello, hello. Holy smokers, 6 hours of that. That's 4 a.m. for me. All right. We're going to do this here. And I'm going to come in just a little bit bigger than 6 inches. When Tiffany was here and I was sewing, anytime I picked up a piece and tossed it into Le Trash Con that I thought was scrap and just tossable, she would come over and she would wave it at me and go, "An inch! An inch!" I was like, you know what? You go ahead. Because I know you'll use it. I know you enjoy that. But when I'm done with a fabric, I'm done with a fabric. I'm happy to pay it on to somebody, but I'm also not going to salvage every single inch of scrap that comes out of my room. Now this I would keep because that's a good bit of fabric. I don't know what I'll do with it, but it will go in my scrap bin. But I don't get super crazy about it. I'll at least keep my scraps until my project's done because you never know what's going to happen. Mary says, I saw you were cutting too small, but we can't yell at you. No worries. No worries. We're just going to keep doing what I said. I sent a message also with no response. I don't know who you sent that message to. Sorry. Trisha says, thank you for being real. We all make mistakes. Yes, we do. Terry says, Becca, I signed up for Legit Kits Deep Dive. It's my first Legit Kits. Can you do a video on the tiny pieces? Yes, I absolutely will be happy to do that. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving y'all hanging, especially since I gave you a promo code that you could code that get 15% off. But I believe Donna also has a video on that. But I'll when I get to that point, I will share a video with you. It might take me a little while though, so I think the Cranky Kangaroo has some excellent videos. I think Slay Arts might be a Legit Kits instructor. She may have some videos. I know Handmade by Ying with Donna has some. I think Ian might have some. So while I am happy to do that, and I will do my best to produce that content, it might take me a while. And if you need that before I'm ready to publish it, I would tell you check out their channels. Mary Lou Lyon says, I love that rotary cutter too, but when I tried to clean it, to take it apart to clean it, it fell apart. Check out my Martelli rotary cutter video because I do have some tips and tricks in there for how to keep it put together while you clean it. That might be helpful. There are some tips for how you can pull it apart without breaking the rotary cutter. And so that is extremely helpful, and I learned that from years of experience because a lot of times I would take that rotary cutter apart and I would lose the blade guard, or I would lose the spring, or I would lose this, or I would take this. It was a nightmare. It was definitely a pain in my katukas. So I would tell you, check that video out because it'll probably help you out a ton. There's two. So I opened this up to do my 6-inch square cuts because I want to get the most use out of this fabric, and I feel like if I leave it folded, I might not be able to get the 3 pieces that I expected to get. I thought for some reason it might be 4. Okay, 3. Yeah, I can do that by myself. This will go in the scrap pile. This will go in the use it pile. Awesome. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. Maybe. We'll find out. There's another 6-inch. And from that, we need essentially 9 because half of 6 is 3. Okay. Like this, that's my 6. Those I should be able to open up and get 6 inches. That's there. These go here. These open up. Wait, I thought you said you were doing 5 inches, not 6. I was going to go down to 5, but then I figured out how to get 6, so I'm back up to 6. Sorry. Follow my brain. Follow my brain. I am doing 9 patches with 6 inches. Thank you for double checking me. I do appreciate it. Oh, yeah, you guys saw on Instagram, Ian posted that he had food poisoning. He is feeling better. Katie says, watching you on our new TV. Wow, so great to see everything perfectly. Awesome. Congratulations on that new TV purchase. I feel like while I'm cutting, this is probably the better scene since I'm not doing anything with the sewing machine. And you can still see what I'm cutting. So we'll switch to this. There's that, this, and this. Terry Bishop, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I appreciate you. Don't forget, for those of you that are signing up for the channel, donations, tips, memberships, whatever the heck it is you want to call it, if you go to the community tab, you will have that link for this weekend's Zoom. We would love to see you there. All right, we're going to do 4 fat quarters at once. Dare me? Done. I just need to make sure that all my folds are lined up. So that I can sail through this. Measure once, cut 100 times. Got it? That's one strip. Mucho better, Becca. Thank you. Terry Bishop. Hello. Thank you again, Terry Bishop. I think So Yeah sells Vegas strips that are 6 inches. This would be a great project for those. Okay, so we've got these strips. I do need to clean this one up because one side is not cleaned up and I need it to be 6 inches. I was gifted a wonderful ruler that would be perfect for that. I do not know if they still make it though. It is by Olfa and it is 6 inches wide by 20 inches long with a ledge on one end to keep me straight. Awesome. Hello, Loretta. Thank you for subscribing and hopping on over to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. All right, these are trash. Okay, now what I'm going to do is subcut these to get my 6-inch squares. So we're going to be cognizant of that selvage edge right there. Just like this. Those will come off. Spin her around. Ah, Vegas strips are 6.5 inches. Well, guess what? You could do this with 6.5 inches too. It must be the Moda dessert rolls that are 6 inches. I get them all confused. I wonder why they chose 6 inches instead of something else. Mary Lou Lyon is asking, Becca, what are you making? I am cutting 6-inch squares out of some fat quarters that I got from a Destash sale. And I am going to turn it into a very large disappearing 9 patch. We'll see how it turns out. Kathy says, how does anyone else keep track of what pattern they want to do with specific fabric if they can't get to it right away? You need to pick one more fat quarter since you messed up the green. Thank you for letting me know. I will pick a pink or a coral, probably this floral one. I will probably get started first and then do that. The problem is I'm not going to be able to do 8 different fat quarters because I've got repeats in here. So I'll just try to balance the colors as best I can. Although I could salvage that green by sewing it together, franken-piecing it. Why not? Nobody would really ever know. You guys know what franken-piecing is? Have you heard that before? I forgot to shoot. That's gonna show. But, oh well. I've got salvages in this quilt. We're gonna leave it. It's only gonna be on 1, 2 pieces, but they might be hidden in the seam allowance. We'll see. Holly says, just joined your VIP on the website. Looking forward to popping in and out over the weekend. Awesome, Holly. Great to have you. No, tell me, please. So franken-piecing, and I'll show you a demonstration of it because maybe we can franken-piece. I call it franken-piecing, but maybe other people out there have a different term for it. So if you miscut your fabric, I use this in FPP all the time. Let me show you in the overhead. So oh, hey, I have more to cut. Let me talk to you about it before I show you in the overhead. So Franken piecing is essentially like Franken batting in that if you miscut your fabric, but you need it to be bigger, I use this in FPP all the time, you can just stitch it together. And usually nobody will ever know, because by the time you get all of your pieces put together and you get the quilt put together, people aren't going to notice that that fabric was grown. Maybe you wouldn't do it for a quilt showpiece, but it definitely gets you by, especially if that fabric is out of print and you can't get your hands on it anymore. So what I would do for those green pieces that I miscut, I can basically stitch 2 pieces of green together until it's big enough for me to cut out a couple of 5-inch squares. So I might actually do that. So 1, that I can show you how to do it, but 2, that I can actually use that green in the quilt. And at the end of the day, no one's going to really know, especially if we just make sure that the directional fabric is going the same way. So to do that, what I'll do is come to the overhead and I'm going to grab my green fabric, and I know I want to get some 6-inch squares out of this. So I've got these strips and I've got these. So I'm going to just put these right sides together. It is directional fabric, so I'm going to make sure that when I lay it out like this, the direction of the fabric is going the same way, and I'm just going to put them right sides together and take a seam right along here. First, I got to thread my needle. Come on. There we go. Franken piecing. Then, once I've stitched that together, I'll bring it back over here, and my iron's turned off, but I'm going to heat it back up. I'm going to open up this. Instead of pressing the fabric to one side, I want to get that to lay really, really, really flat. So I'm just going to come in and press the whole seam open. This will help the entire thing lay a little bit flatter. And then once the iron is heated up, I'll press it with the iron. And then I'll measure it to see if I can cut 6 inches out of it. And if I can't, I'll just keep adding fabric until I'm able to cut out of it whatever I need. It's almost a little bit like improv piecing, kind of, because you're creating fabric from fabric, but the difference here is that I'm using the same fabric to produce a piece that I can put into my overall quilt that will look like nothing ever happened. Nobody's gonna, like, somebody might notice only if they look really closely at the print of the fabric. Canona says, for the Zoom, it's my first time, do we just leave it open during open sew as well, so we're sewing with friends? Yes, ma'am. That's what most people do. Most people, when they join the Zoom, they just leave it open so they can sit and chat with people, see what they're working on. I find typically the whole process is a little bit better when we have smaller rooms, so that's 5.5, so I'm going to add another piece to the top. It works a little bit better when we have the breakout rooms opened up so people can jump into rooms, meet some new friends, talk, share their projects. Not everybody likes talking in front of a big group of people, so I think it actually gets conversation going a little bit more too. And then, when you leave or step away, you can leave the Zoom if you'd like. You can close it out, or what a lot of other people do is they just turn their camera off, turn the volume down on their computer, and mute their microphone so nobody can see you, nobody can hear you, and you can't hear them, and you walk away. And so the indicator for people a lot of times is when the camera's off, the people aren't there, but when it's on, they are. So that is pretty good, but it is a little puffy, and I really, oh, I shouldn't have done this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll say I want it to lay really flat, so I'm going to give it a little bit of starch. I didn't necessarily want to introduce starch because I didn't do it to any of my other pieces of fabric, but hey, it's a live sew session and we all make mistakes, and that's what makes the live streams entertaining. So we'll see what that does. I'm going to do that to I'm going to do that to another piece. I'm going to try to get at least 2 more greens. Should be able to. Maybe even 4, we'll see. Angela Christine says, my great-grandmother made quilts like that. I never noticed till 20 years after using her quilts. See? It's still functional. It still works. This is really good if you're a beginner at FPP and you add your piece and then you go and flip it over and you look at it and go, oh no, what have I done? Why has the fabric forsaken me? It's not big enough to cover the piece of paper, the section of the piece of paper that you flipped it over for. This is where this comes into play really nicely for me. Just gonna press that open. Sean says, haha, I always have Jack on standby. Hello, Sean. By the way, Sean, thank you for joining the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Hello, June. Andrea has joined the channel. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I definitely appreciate that, Andrea. All right, so here we go. We're going to try to cut those down. I do have enough here that I could probably cut a couple more, but I think it's going to get a little tricky. So we're just going to cut these down and try to work with what we have. I'm going to be able to get 2 pieces out of this. I actually could get another 3rd if I take this piece and sew it over there. So I might actually do that in just a moment. All right, so this is 2 more 6-inch squares. And if I take these 2 and sew them together, I wonder if I'll be able to get another 6-inch square. So I'm just going to sew this and see. Awesome, Sean. We'd love to see you on the Zoom. I hope you join too. Are disappearing 9 patches always cut the same way, or can you vary the length and size cuts for each quilt? I think you have to cut them all the same way. That's what I'm planning to do, but I am not the expert, so you do you. And you know what? You know the best way to find out if something works? Try it. You never know if you're going to love something or if it's going to work or it's going to be the thing until you try it. So try it. Worst thing that happens is you wasted some fabric, but you learned a valuable lesson. Mike, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I definitely appreciate you hopping on. Hope to see you at the Zoom this weekend as well. Oh, no worries, Andrea. I'm glad that you're back. Thank you. So people are saying in the chat, yes, the cuts always have to be the same because that's how you get the secondary design. I don't think it matters what the cut is as long as it's consistent. So we'll figure that out in a moment. All right, I have all of these prints made. I have a little pile of scraps that I am sure my friend Tiffany is going to love. So we will keep, or I will love, we'll see. Now I'm just going to cut some 6-inch blocks out of my background. And I think what we had decided to do is make the background the center. And then we are going to do some color on the other 4 sides. So this one I've got just yardage from. I'm just going to cut a few so I can get started. Heather said, no rules, no quilt police. That's right, that's right. we're going to do Yolanda Hale, thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I appreciate that. All right, we've got 2 there. And we're going to have 2 over here. All right, and we're going to have 2 more. I'm probably going to stop cutting the background or the white fabric at this point. I'm just going to cut this. I'll put that. I don't think this will be 6. Oh, yeah, it will. We're going to use that hot diggity dog. Because I want to get started sewing. I could sit here cutting all this fabric up all night, and I am sure that somebody out there would be like, hey, that's great. Oh, you know what? No, that's off kilter. Get what I did. You saw what I did there. That's off skew a little bit, so we're not going to use it. I'm going to set this background away, and we're going to start building out some 9 patches. So to do that, I'm Cyrus Air. Hello, my first live. Hello, 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 hello. All right, so to do this, I'm going to set a pile of my white fabric right here in the middle with the pretty side up. It can be a little hard to tell because this is grunge and it is a tone on tone and it is white. Well, it's actually more like a cream, honestly. But I'm going to set this pretty side up, and I'm just going to come in, and I'm not going to stress about having duplicated fabrics in the 9 patch because ultimately these are going to be scrappy. They're going to go together and it's just going to flow. So all I'm really going to do is just try to not set 2 of the same fabrics next to each other. I don't even care if we've got 2 of the same fabrics in the same block. I'm just going to try to change it up just a little bit. And we're going to put this one down here, and we'll do maybe another blue, right? Doesn't matter. When it all goes together, you can't see it all here because I'm zoomed so far out or in, but that's my block. You can see that way. So we're going to put this together, just a 9 patch, and then we'll start slicing and dicing it after we get the 9 patch put together. Dragonflies for Donna says, I believe the quilt government came up with the quilt police. Ooh, you guys can hear my machine really loud, can't you? It's probably coming through a little too loud. Let me fix that. I'm going to turn that on, add, and there we go. This should make it a little bit easier, not so hard on your ears. That's a little bit better. No worries, LA4 Dreams. It's not bad, Becca. Okay, well, I changed it, so let me know if it's better now than it was before. Oh, Christine says, I was thinking, dang, that machine is quiet. So it was fine before? Wow, okay. All right, well, I might put it back. Oh, okay. All right, we're going to put it back because the filter that I turned on just now was, I'm going to take the filter off. Okay, the quieter now that I had, was that better? I'm turned off the filter. Tell me how this sounds to your ears. I actually like the sound of the sewing machine. I just don't want it to be extremely loud. So tell me what you think. Okay. Better 1 or better 2? Bill says the machine drone was making me sleepy. A Juki pedal to the metal is my white sleepy time noise. I know. Does your machine have a volume button? LOL, no, it doesn't. I have technology that I can use to help quiet things down. Filter is better. Okay, filter is better. Does everybody think filter is better? Way too loud. Okay. Better with filter. Got it. Thank you guys for feedback. Look at this. Throw up a poll. Oh, throw up a poll. Then I don't have to read the chat. Listen to you. You are smart. SMRT. How do I do a poll? No, that's not what I wanted. Why don't it want to work for me? How do you like your new machine? I love it. It's just like my other Juki. It's just like my other Juki. Just like the other one. It's honestly the same machine. So there's just a few minor differences. I would highly recommend, if you are in the market for a Juki, definitely consider getting one of those. All right, let's see. How can I do a there's the plus button. There's the plus button over here. Hi. Oh. You know what? It's just really laggy on my end. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm clicking. There. You guys can vote. That was fun. I haven't done one of these yet, so we'll see. And right now, just so you know, there is, I believe, no filter. Yep, there's no filter at this time. So when I start sewing, you will hear it. Maybe. We'll see what the audience prefers. Literally sewed through the bottom fabric. Literally sewed through the bottom fabric. Okay, try this again. And now I'm not sewing at all because the machine came unthreaded. Like all the way unthreaded, not just a little bit. Like it said, listen, I don't want to sew anymore. Stop making me go through the hook. I don't want to be in the fabric. Leave me alone. 53% of you right now are saying that it is better when I turn the filter on. So if you have a say in this, click on the little poll and let me know. Should I turn the filter back on or not? Teresa is asking, how long have I been working in computers? Janet says, the machine is part of the machine sound is part of this experience, so please keep the sound. Okay. Here, let's try this. Let me know how this is. Better 1, better 2. This is a hybrid noise suppression. And we will do this one, but we'll turn it down a bit. Okay, I turned on a different noise suppression. You can change your answer if this filter would change your opinion. And guess what I didn't sew that entire time? Leave it alone, Day said. Yeah, Donna, it does. Angela Christine says, LOL, watching this and my doggo heard the machine from Becca's sewing and looked at my machine confused. Oh, Donna says the sound breaks up the dead quiet. And guess who Nancy says, you can still talk, which is a good thing. I can still talk over top of it. So, and Jackie said, it's a sewing video. You got to hear the machine. Okay. The dead quiet is just Ron, Linda said. Can you still talk? Yes, I should be. I'll talk over top of it while I've got this filter on. And you guys can hear what it sounds like. So here I'm going to just say the alphabet and hope like my machine is sewing. I know it's not. I can hear it's not. I don't know why it's not because it wasn't threaded. What the heck is going on tonight? This machine has come unthreaded so many doggone times. And now I'm afraid I'm going to have to go into the bobbin case and pull that bobbin strand out because if the bobbin tail coming out of the casing, is not long enough, then the needle won't have enough bobbin to wrap around the needle and cause that stitch to happen. So sometimes when the thread gets cut, if the needle is in the wrong position or something, I don't know the exact reason why it happens, but if the thread cutter cuts the thread, sometimes the tail on the bobbin can be a little too short. All right, let's see if this sews. It sounds like it's stitching, and now I'm talking, yeah, it's stitching. I'm talking over top of the sewing machine, and I'm just going to tell you that my favorite color is aqua. I enjoy long walks on the beach, and Crystal Light or water is my favorite beverage. I have no idea why I'm sharing all that with you other than so you can hear what my voice sounds like while I'm sewing. Hello, Jackie. Pat says she likes it filtered. Can hear Becca clearly and not interrupt hubby sci-fi. Awesome. I like all the Jukies. I see all the Jukies unthread all the time. So we actually learned, you were just practice sewing, yes. We actually learned that when Tiffany was here that the reason why the needle comes unthreaded, and it's a problem that I'm doing, I know it is, if the presser foot is up when you cut your thread, the needle comes unthreaded. And what I'm doing is just ever so slightly, can you see? Ever so slightly, I am hitting that knee bar, and that knee bar is causing the presser foot to come up just a little bit, but it causes the needle to come unthreaded because I'm hitting that before I hit the heel click. Long walks on the beach, Mike says, with the wind in your heart. Are you thirsty? Maybe, but I do have my water bottle over there. So, all right, so I'm going to press that 9 patch, and then I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to cut it, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. And then I'll just start making more of these. But that way, if anybody was curious how to make a disappearing 9 patch, you can at least see one done in this example. You can come in. My husband is here. He's going to lock up. He's going to lock me into the sewing room. It's going to be fine. Right?
This is where you belong.
This is where I belong, in my hole?
Yep.
Get in your hole. Thank you.
You are the welcome.
He's making his rounds. Do you want to say hi to the people?
Hi, people.
He says hi, peoples. All right. And there's that one. And then all I'm trying to do is get these seams flat so that the block, the fabric is laying nice and flat before I, what's the thing I was going to say? Do the cutting. That's it. Make him speak, please. You guys are funny. He won't talk very much. He's not really into this whole thing. All right, so now that I have my 9 patch sewn together, I'm going to cut it apart. I need a ruler to do that. So I'm going to try to, I almost feel like I should just make bunches of 9 patches and put them together, but we said disappearing 9 patch, so disappearing 9 patch it is. What I have to do is figure out how big where the center of my block is, and I want to cut, so it's 4.5 inches center, which makes sense because, wait, why is it 4.5? No, it's 5.5. Thank you. The math wasn't mathing, people. 5.5 inches. I'm just going to cut 1.5 inches away from either one of these seams. And if I mess this up, guess what? We'll just put it all back together. It'll be fine. I'm second guessing myself. Do I cut on the other side of the center square? Okay, do I cut away from this or in the middle? Like, Colleen says, hey, I love a 9-patch block, such a friendly looking block. Bill says, I think one day Sean's wife, Jace, Joe, and the Iron Man should do a live sew. Becca, Zippy is asking, do you sew with your left foot to use your knee lift? Nope, everything's right side. Helen says, my Juki rarely comes unthreaded. Susan is saying middle. Okay, we're going to go with the middle. I just had a brain fart and I needed your help. Thank you. So I'm measuring 1.5 inches up all the way on this. And then over here, so this is 4 inches. I'm going to turn this around so that I can measure 1.5 inches up because the measurements have to be consistent on both sides. So here we go. All right, now it was like this. It was like this. Now I need to cut 1.5 inches across the bottom, right? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. People are asking me questions. We're making it up as I go. I don't know. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. And gosh almighty, let's hope I didn't mess this up. So here's what I was thinking as I was going, okay? I can tell how to put this back together by just looking at the fabrics. I know the white's in the middle, and so all of these would go back into the middle, and then obviously I want these fabrics touching and these fabrics touching. So to lay it back out in its original orientation, I just have to follow the pattern that's already there. But for a disappearing 9-patch, I believe what we do is just rotate the fabrics like this. Oh, and I forgot to cut this. Hold on, I gotta cut this too. Oh my gosh. Is anybody out there laughing at me? Because I feel like I'm completely winging it and I don't even know if this is gonna work. Should have listened to Tiffany. There's the center square. All right, so all of the white goes into the middle for the original layout. All right, a new pattern. It will be fine. It looks like you were doing a disappearing 4-patch on a 9-patch. Oh, okay, sounds good. I think we turn this and this and then this. No, I don't know how to rotate this. I don't know what I'm doing. Like that, maybe. So what would the block be? It would have this in the middle with those in the corner. This is just, I got it. I got it. I'm doing it wrong. I understand. I understand. We're going to stick with it. We're going to lean into the curve because we never know what's going, we never know what's going to happen until we try. So we're just going to put it back together with the corners rotated out. Thank you for telling me I'm doing it wrong. I appreciate it. Because I was, I'm sure. That's right. It'll be my own creation and beautiful. And you know what? Here's the beauty of it. If I make a couple of these and I don't like the secondary pattern that might be coming out of it, I can just start sewing in scrappy pieces and make it an improv scrappy quilt that'll still be beautiful with all the fabric. Disappearing 9-patch with a twist. I will probably not do very many more of these blocks tonight. We'll see if this even finishes. Do it by cutting it in half to make it a 4-patch. Okay, well, we'll do another one where we do it that way. And this could be a block that goes on the back of the quilt. Thank you for telling me how to do it. All right. It won't matter. It's entertaining me. You need to cut just the outside, not the middle. Donna said, you are actually teaching me to not be afraid to try things, and I appreciate it. You're welcome, because not everything goes according to plan, as you can see here. I will tell you, not having starch added into this is really throwing me for a loop, because the fabric has a lot more stretch, and it's a lot more flimsy than it normally would be, and I don't like it. I do not like it at all. Okay. I like the idea of a pieced backing. It always puts blocks that I mess up or I don't like on the back. Awesome. I think that's a great idea too. All right, so okay, there we go. This is not my best work. I quit. We're done. We're done for a minute. I've already made a mistake. Let me show you what I made. The plus is supposed to be made. This should have been sewn on down here, and I'm apparently losing my brain power by the moment. So I'm going to teach you another lesson. When you mess up and it's time to walk away, it's okay to put the project up and save it for another day. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here and chat with you guys for a little while. I'm going to rip this seam so that I can fix it tomorrow. And I do like this fabric. I do want to make this quilt. So I will probably try to work on this a little bit over the course of our weekend retreat. But for tonight, I think I am done working on this because I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm hitting some seams in here that are making it harder to use the seam ripper to glide in between those two pieces of fabric. So I'm just ripping a little bit just to weaken the entire seam, and then just gonna do that. 2 mistakes is definitely time to stop sewing. Yes, I agree. 1 mistake you can recover from. 2, you're starting to see a pattern. By the time you get to the 3rd one, you usually just want to murder somebody. So we're gonna walk away for a few minutes. Let's sit and chat. I'll hang out with you guys for a little bit. Christine says, it showed you what I'm trying to throw together. If I showed you what I am trying to throw together for my granddaughter, you may laugh. Tula Pink will show when done. Awesome. I'm going to come back over here. Helen says, been there, done that. Jack and I are great friends. If I said it's wrong, I should apply for the quilt police. That was from Tangle Zest. Doreen says, take a deep breath. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Listen, this is just being real, right? Like that's what this is, because not everything goes according to plan. And we can stop this poll now. That would be great. That would be great if we could just end the poll there. Hey, come on. Julie, Wisconsin, or is it Julie? Because I saw it scroll up all the way, said, it's pretty chaos. Yes, this is how things happen in all of our sewing rooms. But a lot of times, you guys like the filter, which I have turned on, so thank you for that. A lot of times, things don't go the way we expect. And we don't always have to have a plan to recover, but what we do have to do is give ourselves grace to be able to walk away when it's not turning out the way that we think it is, or our brain isn't comprehending enough, and come back to it another day. I haven't sewn all week. Really, I haven't. It's been a hectic week at work. There's just been a lot of stuff happening. And so for me, what I'm also dealing with is just kind of, this is the start of my weekend, and I haven't had a chance to unwind from the work week and give my brain a chance to catch up. Normally on Friday nights, after my work day is done, I like to take a little nap, but I got caught up doing a million other things, so I didn't have a chance to rest. So my brain is kind of on overload right now. And I know enough about me to know that if I keep going, I'm just going to keep making mistakes, and I'm going to get frustrated, and then the project might not be salvageable, either because it will have too many mistakes in it, or I will just be so frustrated with it that I just want to get rid of it. And there's no need for any of that. I can go, I can walk away, I can take a break, and I can come back to it again. And sometimes that break doesn't mean leaving your sewing room. Sometimes that break doesn't mean you stop sewing. It just means you stop working on that project. But I know mentally, I can't do this right now. So we'll talk about the quilt that's hanging up behind me instead. So let me move out of the way. This is the, I'm calling it the Brady Bunch quilt. This is the braid quilt that I worked on while Tiffany and Ian were here. I made one similar to this for my mom, but what I did was a little different. It was actually Tiffany's idea. Mom was supposed to make multiple braids, and I think I told her 3, but I was going to have her make 4 or 5 because I figured out the math by the time I had her start working on it. Her braids were a little bit longer, so I think she was only going to make 4 instead of 5. And then what we were going to do is this layout for her. However, she made 3 braids, and she was kind of done at that point. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think Tiffany actually made the last of those braids. Well, it's time for the quilt to come together. And so what my mom decided to do, or what Tiffany decided to do, is instead of just floating them on the background, she put a border around each braid with the same fabric that was going down the middle. And then she did a sashing of the background, and in the middle of the 2 braids, she took some of the leftover strips from the jelly roll that were supposed to be in the braid, and she ran them as a vertical stripy sashing in between each braid. Super scrappy, super pretty. It gave it a really nice pop of color. I did not do that with mine because I wanted to put 5 braids on here. So I've got 5 braids laid out, separated by some background fabric. And when I look at this, I don't think you can see it on the camera. I don't love the background fabric with this. The black is nice because I think it makes the colors pop, but the black background that I chose is also busy because it's a very big print. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I do, however, love the borders. The backing, by the way, is just a turquoise, I think it's seafoam thatched by Robin Pickens. And then the binding on the quilt is the same as the border fabric, so it all just blends together nicely. And I do have a couple of sewn in labels on the front. I don't have a fancy label or anything, but there is a label on it that says I made it and kind of gives quilt care instructions. So this quilt's all done. It is ready to be gifted or donated or whatever the case may be. It does not have a forever home yet. It has not been washed yet. Tiffany, when she did the quilting on it, did an all over kind of leafy design. And she did that on a live stream on her YouTube channel. So you guys can check that out. Cannot see the top of the quilt. Nope, you can't, because I would have to unhook it. It looks just like I'd have to move camera equipment or move the quilt around, and I'm not doing that. Best part is taking a deep breath, Ruth says, walking away, and it's always better after you take a break. Unplug and get some rest. Absolutely, that's what I think. Teresa Lynch says, I love the colors. Linda says, it's very pretty. Angela says, OMG, I have that same Wonder Woman pants. I love them. Did you guys catch that I have a hole in the seam because I have worn these out? Christine says, so Becca, my sewing area is moving into a larger room with my long arm. Is there anything about your sewing room that you are especially happy with or wish you could do over? The first thing that I would tell you is I did a sewing room tour a couple of years ago after my room was all done. And I showed you, I kind of brought you in and showed you some of the things that I used to store and all that other stuff. And then I waited a couple of years. And after I had been in here for about 2 years, I did another tour video, which I just uploaded earlier this year that you'll want to go and check out. I talk about a lot of that stuff in that video, and that might be helpful to you. But to give you a quick answer off the top of my head, I wished I had more wall space. I didn't mention that in that video, but I do wish I had more wall space. But the problem with that is it does come at the cost of the very beautiful, very big windows that allow me to look out onto my property. So catch 22. I think the biggest thing that I probably would recommend is just be aware of where you want things plugged in. If you have the luxury to choose where your outlets are going to be, consider all of the available surfaces to include the floor, and make sure you've got a couple of different circuits so that you can handle some of that high-powered equipment like your iron, because that does take up a lot of wattage. Joe Robbins says, check Martha Stewart 14 years ago. She also did a disappearing 9 patch. Awesome. Louise says, how about using Best Press on the 6-inch squares and recut them to 5.5 and start over tomorrow? We all have things that don't work out the first time. Louise, you are actually reading my mind, because that's exactly what I was thinking about doing. I was going to starch all of those, press them, trim them down to 5.5-inch squares, because we will lose a little bit of sizing on just 2 of the sides, and we will come back at it and try it again. And as for this block that I tried tonight, I think this is just going to be a lovely, scrappy block for the back of the quilt, which would be really cool. I have never done a pieced backing for a quilt that I have quilted before, so that would be kind of fun. It would also be kind of fun to kind of make, like, if we put it in the front somehow too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Christine says, I'm laying in bed ignoring my quilt until tomorrow. LOL. Let's see. LSCD says the fabric manufacturers have lots of patterns on their website. They absolutely do. Lots of them. I may try this in ombre confetti. Linda, I did that a few years ago, several years ago, actually. I think it was 2019. I took this same braid pattern. Listen, if you guys want a pattern for a friendship braid, they are all over the internet. If you want a step-by-step braid pattern, they are all over the internet, and a lot of them are free. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time rewriting that pattern. So I'm just going to give you a project worksheet that has your fabric requirements and cutting instructions. And the video is really focused on helping you understand how to build out a braid using your own formula. So what I'm looking at is, if you decide I want to make a braid quilt, but I want 3 braids and I want them to be this length, instead of teaching you how to make this exact one, I'm giving you some of the tips and tricks so that you can figure out, how do I start it? How do I have that setting triangle in the beginning, how I have the setting triangle at the end, how do I know how big to cut my pieces of fabric. I put that stuff in the video, and I hope that'll be helpful for you. But I did, by the way, when I tackled this the first time around, I think I pulled a pattern from Jordan Fabrics, and I did this in V & Company's ombre confetti, like the gold dot. Oh, it was so pretty. I made a couple table runners out of it. My original goal is to put it into a quilt because I had like 3 braids, but I ended up making like 3 table runners out of it instead. Let's see. The Mennonite Farmhouse says, we all need a mental break before the breakdown. That's right. Thanks for being real. I tend to think it's only me. Citation from the Quilt Police. Yeah, you're welcome. Linda Gillespie says 2 full yards at 12 9 patches each, wrong size, and I sewed I so loved the fabric. Design was on point. All wrong though. I put it in a project box and put it away. Oh, you poor thing. Billy Lowry says, so Becca, do you know what's going on with Teresa Louise? Is she sick or her husband again? No post and weeks. And I have no idea. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've heard nothing. I can tell you that I sent her a message just after my birthday at the beginning of February. And the last I checked, which I will be happy to check again, it didn't look like she had even read it. So I don't know. I have no clue. In fact, I'm logging in to see if that message was read. So at least we know whether she's alive or not. Here, let me search. Nope, still unread. I sent that on February 4th. On my birthday, still unread. She sent me well, maybe it was February 4th. It might have been a couple days after, but she sent, last I heard from her, she sent me a birthday message, and that was it. That was it. I have heard nothing. Ginger River says, I did a disappointing 9 patch, but I cut mine in the probably center, then put them on the floor and mix them up. That's a great idea. Debbie Dunn said, I spent the day rearranging my sewing space and preparing to empty 2 items that are going to be replaced by new ones. So with Debbie says, just joining you, been on rest and relaxation for a month or so, and I've got a lot of catching up to do. That's awesome. Linda says, I'm sure someday I will tackle its reconstruction. Dragonflies for Jonna says, is that video going to be available to all your viewers or just your members? Everybody. It'll be for everybody. I don't know exactly when it's going to drop. It'll be sometime over this weekend. I'm just waiting to get my feedback from the QA review. So we'll see what happens. Linda says, yes, that's where I got the pattern, Jordan Fabrics. Yes, go get the pattern from Jordan Fabrics, then come watch my video. That's your best bet. Angela says, we spent the morning getting my computer desk back in here into the sewing room, and I am exhausted now. Pamela Heffern says, I started using starch, and yes, it makes the fabric so much nicer to use. Yes, I agree. Terry said, Martha Stewart sews? Listen, I thought the same thing when I read that comment. Andrea says, I've been playing her old videos to help keep watch hours up. Jenny Harris is asking, maybe she did live on February. I don't know. Listen, I wished I had an answer for all that. I know, oh, well, here's an answer. I don't know if this is the answer, but so Terry says, Teresa's husband had a medical procedure, and after he went home, he got pneumonia. He went back to the hospital and is home again and doing a bit better. Okay. Well, let her know that people are curious how she's doing and they miss her. I do know that she lives out in the country, is subject to a lot of snow, and when she gets bad weather, she loses internet, and that can be a problem. So, oh, Candace says that was a post from last year. Got it. Guess who? Nancy says, we feel like family, so we are concerned about each other, praying all is okay with Teresa. I know that's the struggle, right? Like I remember early on when I started YouTube, there would be a couple of times where I would schedule a live and then I would forget that I had it scheduled because I would get distracted with something else. And there were always so many of you that were like, hey, is everything okay? You have a live scheduled, but you're not there. That is the nice thing about the community. I feel like if I ever didn't show up on a Friday night or I went a few weeks without uploading a video and you guys didn't hear from me, I think people would send out the hounds. Not because I'm important, but because you care about me. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Mennonite Farmhouse says, I'm hand quilting a whole cloth wall hanging. Awesome. Oh, Donna's saying that's an old post from Teresa from August of 2023. Sad. Okay, so no, nobody knows what's happened to Teresa. I don't know. I don't know. I have no answers. I'm sorry. All right, but what I do have answers for, or would like to do, is I'd like to go take a look at what you guys have been working on. So I'm going to pop over to Facebook and we're going to share the screen and see what lovely pictures you guys have shared in the Facebook group. And then after we're done with that, we'll kick you over to Donna's because I think she's got some fun stuff that she wants to share with you guys tonight. So let me go to the Sew and Tell screen. And we're going to start, because it's up on the screen right now, with this picture from Kelly. She says, this is my fabric for the friendship braid. Initially, I was going to make a wall hanging and maybe incorporate a piece into a bag project. Kelly, I'm telling you right now, if you have 3 jelly rolls for this, you are going to have a massive quilt, because the quilt that's hanging up behind me used about 1.5 yards of background fabric, a half a yard of accent fabric, 1 yard for your borders, and just 1 jelly roll. So you'll be able to make this a few times over. Let me go to new post. LA4 Dream says, thanks for showing me to walk away before I'm totally frustrated. I'm new to this stuff and still can't sew a straight line. Everybody should walk away. Nobody is perfect. It is okay to say I am done for the night or the day or sometimes the week. Becky Bramlett says, this is Afghan number 1. Kelly Moiter says, I made this month's block of the month tonight. Oh, that's so pretty. I like that. She also took the day off, so she made a project bag for her block of the month that she is working on. Oh, that's a good idea. We should have made project bags. I should have made a project bag. Susan Year Out says, this is what I have been doing over the last few days. The quilted envelope is an impromptu project. I will use this to take notions to sew days. The blocks are for Summer Moon, and I finished the first row today. So let's go in and see. Oh, fun. Oh, so fun. Pretty fabrics. Day says, I finished this FPP pattern called Love Sampler from Joe Carmel. Oh, this is so cool. So we've got quilt blocks in here that are laid out to spell the word love. And that's cool how she did it. So to round out the V and the O, she just did some half square triangle units. Love it. Way to go. Linda Robinson says she has some crown blocks to use up scraps and a quilt as you go purse. Awesome. Barbara Cade said this is a last minute baby quilt. Katie said she's doing a scrappy Irish chain quilt as you go, 13 blocks done, 12 the easiest to do. We're going to refresh the screen and see what else new has come in. My mom did just text me. Thank you, Mom, for checking that. She said the last time Teresa Louise went live was February 25th. Maybe go check out that live and watch it and see if she said anything about what she's doing or not doing anymore. I know I know she has had instances in the past where she's taken breaks from YouTube. I don't know why it keeps telling me that Vanessa Anderson. There we go. All right. I'm going to change this to new post. We've already seen this. We've seen that. Let me refresh the screen. Oh, Katie Vaught. She made herself a headset bag for work. That's a great idea. I like that fabric. Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm sleepy. Pamela Heffern says, I worked on a double-sided garden flag a couple nights ago. Look at that beautiful hummingbird. This is a great use for a panel too, by the way. And then we're back to the jelly rolls. Let's refresh again and see what else we have. Not a lot of projects being shared in the Facebook group tonight. Lily Shames is saying, I've been working on my Tula economy blocks as part of a block exchange that I'm taking part in. This is a great way to fussy cut some fabric too. Oh, so pretty. I love that one. Got a new member request. Christine Kidd has shared a picture of what she's started. I love that block in the middle. Then we're back to the economy blocks. Angela says she can't wait for the Tula Pink Tabby Road line to come out. That's awesome. It looks like the Facebook group is a little bit slow tonight, so I'm going to assume that we're done sharing our projects in there. But if you've got something you would like me to take a look at, just let me know in the live chat here. I'm going to look and see if I can find where Miss Donna is live, because she should be live by now. Yep, she is. So she's going to be talking. Oh, sorry. She's going to be talking about the fabric that she's going to use for an upcoming Bargello sew along. And she's also got a mail haul and some other things that she's doing. So in the interest of helping her not repeat herself, because the Bargello looks like something fun and I am excited to do it as well, I am going to, why is it doing that? Oh, Safari, got it. I'm going to go ahead and give us the link to her live stream, and I'm going to start winding down here so that we can go over and hear what she's got going on for her upcoming content schedule. So just give me a second. I will drop the link in the channel in just a moment. Dun, 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 da, 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 da. I'm flying away. I don't know why I'm singing. Probably just dead noise. All right, here we go. Her channel is now set up to automatically dump everybody over there once this live stream ends. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is put it in this live chat. Maybe not, if it loads. My computer's running really slow. Like really slow. I'm still waiting for the live chat to load. There we go. And then this. There we go. All right, let me just look through the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. Where will the link be for the early live tomorrow morning? That would be on Sean's channel. If you do exclamation Sean in the chat, you'll get a link over to the guy who sews. I will be live with him on his channel, so you can check that out there. The bot should drop the link. I did do exclamation Sean. Is the bot not working? There it goes. There you go. There you go. Let me see if there are any other questions before we wrap for tonight. Sue says, good afternoon from Victoria, Australia. Good afternoon, Sue. We're about ready to be done. Debbie says, I tried joining the Facebook group and there are no questions for me to answer. There shouldn't be. I will take a look and see if there's anybody else waiting to come in. Nope, nothing there. All right, guys. Thank you, friends, so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And thank you for sticking with me even when I made a mistake. And if you are just tuning in and you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch me severely mess up a disappearing 9-patch block. I hope to redeem myself over the weekend, and I'll show you what my progress was this weekend, next week on my live stream. For those of you that joined my recurring tip channel, for those of you that signed up to help monetarily support my channel tonight, thank you. I appreciate you. For those that have been supporting me all along, thank you. I appreciate you. Don't forget, if you are paying to support my channel right here on YouTube, or you're a member of my VIP program over on my website, our weekend Zoom starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. So this girl is going to go upstairs and get some rest before I hang out with you guys for about 36 hours straight. I'll see you guys all either tomorrow or next week. Bye, friends.